Hey guys, welcome to another fun and, well, I would say fact-filled, but there may not be a lot of facts here. Just a fun episode of TFL's Top 10. And what are we doing today, Nathan?
We are asking the world to bring back cars from the dead. Actually, we're praying to get cars back from the dead that most likely will not be coming back. But that's what we're looking for. Top 10 cars that we want brought back from the dead.
All right, why don't you start with number 10?
Number 10, and I know you guys will agree with us, the Toyota Supra.
Oh, hell yeah, that was such a cool car. You know, my heart throbs every time I think of that car. I actually had a friend who, my cousin has one. My buddy in college had one when we went from Celica to a Supra. Remember, it was a Celica Supra.
Yeah, and then it became just the Supra.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. And of course, the one that everybody would love to have is the last generation, the turbocharged one, which is almost impossible to find without it being molested somehow.
And modified heavily, yeah. Now, there is a rumor that Toyota will be bringing it back and sharing a platform with BMW, and that's supposedly happening, but we don't know for sure if they're going to use the name, and frankly, Elliot, I'm sure you agree with me, they really need to use the Supra name.
Yeah, because, Toyota doesn't really have a halo car, right?
Right.
And the Supra could have that. After the LFA, there was nothing really that took its place. I guess the FRS sort of, kind of. I mean, I'm talking about a sports halo car.
Yeah, I think the Supra really would help give them that extra punch. And Toyota themselves have said that they want to make sure that the vision of the feel of sportiness comes back to Toyota. So.
All right. Number 9. I'm gonna do this one, and of course I have a soft spot, but this is 3 cars we want to bring back because they represent a class of car that's kind of missing: the Bronco, the Blazer, and the Jimmy. And what do they represent, Nathan?
They represent real SUVs, body on frame, that can go off-road, tow, and go toe-to-toe, possibly, with the Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah, and not the huge Blazer, but the small Blazer, the first generation Bronco. Something that was actually meant to compete with the Jeep, because right now Jeep has that whole space to itself, and I think the competition makes a better vehicle, and I think the Jeep could be a lot better vehicle if they actually had some real competition out there.
That's right, and I mean, consider what we already know is rumored to come out, like the ZR2 version of the Chevy Colorado. Now, if they were to take that and make it an SUV, how cool would that be? I mean, it would compete directly with some of the vehicles from Jeep.
Yeah, and there have been a lot of rumors swirling around about the Bronco coming back. Mm-hmm. And actually this year at the Detroit Auto Show, we were all set for it to come back.
Yeah.
And Ford unveiled a mobility stand.
Yeah, no, they also had some Fusions.
Yeah,
they brought out a couple Fusions.
Yeah, and a
Sorry,
it
was compared to the year before, it wasn't so great. Let's move on to number 8.
Okay, go for it.
And the Mitsubishi Evo.
Oh, hell yeah.
So bummed that they got rid of that. Now, there's rumors that they may bring it back in some sort of hybrid form or something like that. But
electric, yeah. But yeah, so what happened was Mitsubishi had a really excellent development team, right?
Right.
Bunch of engineers that got together, and it takes a long time. You just don't, bring these kinds of cars out of the box. You have to build up a team, you have to build up the expertise, you have to build up the name. And they did that, and then there was a scandal at Mitsubishi, and basically the entire team left the company, the engineering team, and Mitsubishi decided to focus on electric cars. The i-MiEV came out, and now there's all these kind of like entry-level crossovers. A
lot of crossovers and stuff like that.
And the Evo's in its last final edition.
They just discontinued it. Yeah, it's
bring it back,
Mitsubishi. Come on. I mean, such a great car. Let's move on. I'm depressed. And this is actually depressing too, number 7. And that's the Suzuki Samurai and the Suzuki SX4.
And both are kind of an interesting story. I had a Samurai, and let's face it, the first generation Samurai was kind of a manly, cute, but still
very capable.
Yeah, very capable little car. That looked like, it was a baby Jeep, basically. And
it performed like a baby Jeep. And a lot of guys out there still use them, both highly modified and not very modified, because they are so capable. Yes, okay, they would roll over if you didn't drive correctly and turn the wheel a little too quickly. Or I think in Roman's case, didn't you do something crazy in one of them?
Yeah, I did. I was going down the highway, and it was snowing, and I started spinning, and I did 2 360s, and then I'm facing the wrong way going down the highway, and there are like 4 plows coming right at me. I have never clenched so hard in my life, Nathan, as at that moment.
I bet. There is something to be said about such a small wheelbase, but off-road, I've driven them off-road, and the Sidekick, actually the Samurai is a little bit better off-road. It can go anywhere. Anywhere one of those RZRs can go, or whatever, Polaris, they can go as well. The other vehicle is the SX4, which we've mentioned before, and it is basically one of the first to enter that mini crossover
segment that's red hot right now. The CX-3, the Honda, right? These are just
the HR-V.
Yeah, it's a red hot segment. They were just there first.
Way before anybody else. 10 years before everybody else, pretty much. So obviously Suzuki's gone from the North American market. They had some interesting vehicles. It's a real shame they're gone, but those are vehicles that would be kind of cool to have a new version of them come back.
Yeah, and I believe the SX4 is still available worldwide.
It is, yes, it is.
Here, so, and it doesn't look as good.
No. It was kind of, it's better looking than when it started.
I'm going to pick number 6
Please do.
because this is my very first new car, and it's the Mazda RX-7, and it's more important than just a car. It's really the engine, right?
Right.
We want the rotary to come back.
I've driven rotary vehicles. I've even driven the rotary pickup truck, which was a lot of fun back a long time ago. And rotaries are extremely smooth. They put out a lot of power for a very small displacement.
Not a lot of torque, though.
Not a lot of torque, and there's some complexity to them. Frankly, it's very expensive to develop this type of product. And right now, Mazda is saying straight out, we are not building one. So it's kind of a bummer. Write your letters to Mazda, tell them that you're dissatisfied and you'd really want a new rotary coming up.
RX-9.
Yeah, care of RX-9 or whatever they're going to call it, yeah.
All right, next one, Nathan.
The next one is another one that could come back, and that is the Honda S2000.
Yeah, Acura has a halo car with the NSX, but Honda really doesn't have a halo car unless you consider like, I don't know, the Odyssey.
Well, the Civic Si, when it gets here, will probably be their best performance car, but they really could use something just a step above. And let's face it, you have a whole generation now that have seen what the S2000 is like, and they want one, so why not bring out a new one?
All right, number 4, this is one that should be back right now because the turbo craze is in full swing. Of course, the first car to actually popularize that was
Saab.
The Saab 900, right? Turbo.
Yep.
And then the 9000, and then the 93
and 95 and all that other stuff. Yeah, but we're talking pre-GM Saab. Back in the days when you put your foot down and wait a full 3 seconds before the thing would actually spool up and take off. But once it did, it was a sledgehammer, am I right? I mean, it was a great car. So, yeah, we miss Saab, and we miss most of their products, and we really wish they would come back, but they probably won't.
I think in internet, if you put Saab 900 Turbo, you come up with turbo lag. That's the definition.
Turbo lag. It really is the poster child of turbo lag. Yeah.
All right, next one.
All right. Well, the next one, both of us definitely agree on this one, and that is the Nissan Xterra and the Toyota FJ.
Hell yeah! Those were and are, I guess, really great cars that are off-road worthy. Are, in the case of the Xterra, affordable, very modifiable.
Yes.
And classic cars that have a long pedigree and for some reason are dead.
Yeah, well, part of the reason is they're trucks. They have a frame, they have solid rear axle, and they're thirsty and they're heavy, and there are a lot of issues about cafe numbers, but the reality is there is another company out there we mentioned before named Jeep who is able to make these things work, and it's a real shame that the Xterra and the FJ are gone because those are two of the best alternative off-road vehicles next to the Wrangler.
So this is an interesting choice for number 2. The Camaro now has become this ultra-refined sports car.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I kind of miss the old Trans Am / Firebird where it was all about like huge flares and big fins and huge decals, right?
Yeah,
that was just cool.
The fire chicken on the hood. Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing with the Firebird because the Firebird was always the step up from the Camaro in terms of its trim or its interior and some of its equipment. And they had a lot of different versions of it through the years. But one of the ones I miss is the final version, which, had pop-up headlights and it was kind of shark-nosed and it was kind of cool looking.
So maybe what we're saying is we're talking out of two ends of our mouth because, the new Camaro is very track focused and real sports car, and we're asking for these cars that look like they are, but really
weren't very good on the track.
So send your hate to.
I know, seriously.
All right, that's the number 1.
The Ford Ranger.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Look, small pickup trucks, mid-sized pickup trucks, I should say, are really hot right now, and rightfully so. A lot of people like the size of them and like to have everything that a big truck has, but in a smaller package. The one thing about the Ranger that was really cool is in its time, it was one of the most affordable pickup trucks in its class, and it was customizable, and you could get so much on it, and so many different versions from Ford. It was an honest, good little truck, and we really want that back.
Andre just drove the new Super Duty Ford.
Right.
And the one that he was driving was $80,000+.
Yes.
What the heck happened to like honest, inexpensive, even like even a base Tacoma.
Yeah.
Like if you even get a base Tacoma, it probably starts at 25. Can we not build a truck under 20?
Yeah, it's really difficult to get to that point. So I think what's really important here is that we're asking the world to bring back the Ford Ranger and yet make it affordable. So we'll see what happens with that.
And by the way, guys, we've got a new YouTube channel called TFL Now, and you can click above to go visit it. And basically, we're putting a lot of extra videos on there. We're putting a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff on there. So if you're interested in a lot more, if you're a fan of TFL and you want a lot more TFL, that's the place to go because we're putting a lot of videos up there.
That's right, and coming soon, there'll be live broadcasts on TFL Now as well. All right, let's finish this with the bonus.
Yes.
Please, go ahead.
The Magnum Hellcat.
Okay, now I need to preface this. Magnum, for those of you who don't remember, is a station wagon.
Built by Dodge.
Built by Dodge, and the Hellcat version of it doesn't exist. That's what he wants. That's his dream.
Bring that back.
Take the thing, put a Hellcat engine in there, and then have the fastest wagon on the planet.
Exactly. Cadillac did it. Why can't
Yeah, actually they did, didn't they? Yeah, that's very true. I like the Magnum. I thought it was a really cool car, but I felt that for some reason they cut it before they even tried to make a different version of it. So one generation and then gone.
Yeah, Americans don't like wagons. It's just,
Yeah,
that's all
I
there is to
know,
it.
man. What's wrong with them? I would have totally owned one of those, especially with a manual.
All right, Nathan. Well, that's our top 10 list of cars that we wish they would bring back from the dead.
Yeah.
But as always, we do the flip side of the coin coming up next time. And what's that going to be?
That's going to be vehicles that we are so happy are dead.
Yes, that's right. Top 10 vehicles that should stay dead.
Please.
So stay tuned for that. As always, this is Roman
And Nathan.
saying thanks for watching, and check out TFL Now for news, views, and of course, real-world automotive reviews. See you next time.
Bye.
Ciao. Bye. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 2017 Buick LaCrosse. No, not this white one. That's the 2016 model, but this red one. That's the 2017, and I wanted to show you the difference because it's a classic model for success in the car biz. You take a car, you make it longer, you make it lower, you make it wider, and you make it more powerful, and that is exactly what Buick did with this 2017 LaCrosse. And coming up next, that's right, we're going to review it.